about me making this movie or whatever, you have these visions in your head, and you think that this movie is gonna be as epic as you think it is in your head. And then people do it, and then people try to become these characters, or people do these scenes, and then the scenes don't turn out as you thought they were going to be, or I think my hardest thing was that I didn't, and this is my own fault, I didn't really write the movie. It was kind of like a freestyle in my head. I put a bunch of action scenes in, I put a bunch of random characters, and you guys want to even hear the funniest part about this? You want to know these characters' names? What is up, guys? I'm K.M.B. Yikes. This is Real Talk with K.M.B. And this is my first ever podcast episode. What is up today, guys? Real Talk with K.M.B. and I'm K.M.B. Clear as day. As you guys know and know, this is not my first ever episode. This is like, I think episode 70 or whatever it is. I don't even know, but so many. And today we are going to talk about making a movie, because let's just say it is very difficult at times. And I feel like, honestly, I don't think I really ever bring this up on social media. You know what I mean? I posted 30,000 Snapchats before. I posted so much on my Instagram before. I made 60 vlogs in 8 months. I made music videos. I made a bunch of rap songs and stuff like that. I made one TV show episode, which I'm not gonna get too into on that one, just because it's like it's kind of whatever. And that one was pretty difficult too. But one of my hardest things that I ever tried to make was a movie. Because trust me, guys, it is a very difficult thing to do. You know what I mean? I literally tried to direct, write, produce, edit the movie, and I acted in it. So it's like I put so much on my plate at one time where I didn't do it right. Okay, I felt very controlling looking back on it. I didn't let my crew be my crew. Okay, I was basically just taking the shots, telling them what to do, this and that. Like, honestly, being a director is a very difficult thing. So you have to be very a controlling person to be a director. I don't know how Steven Spielberg does it, but he does it. But like I said, I directed, act, and produced in it. And the hardest part about making a movie, honestly, is when things don't go your way. Because you're having these things in your mind and stuff like that, and you're giving these people these characters. You're telling them, like, be this character, and it's like that image in your head isn't the image that you imagine in your head when they do the role that you put on them. And it doesn't go your way. And it's one of the hardest things too about making the movie, like I just said, is working with people. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people can be difficult at times to work with. And again, and not to say though anything that like, oh, I'm not gonna act like I was the smoothest person to work with, because 100% I wasn't, and stuff like that. And guess what, guys? And that was an action film that I made. Okay, it was called Spies. I dropped it when I first went on YouTube back in 2018. Dropped the movie. I told people, if this gets 10 likes, I want to say the movie got 20 likes on it, and I told people, if this gets 10 likes, I'm gonna get a sequel to it. As much as I say I'm a man of my word and stuff like that, I never did make a sequel. I don't know why. Maybe it was just because I felt like it was gonna be too difficult to make. Maybe I didn't want to go through the struggle of trying to make another movie. I don't know what it was, but I never did make that sequel to the movie. Let's see here. I'm still trying to find it, guys. Hold on. Shoot. Okay. I'm not finding it right now, but like I said, I never did make a sequel, and you know what's crazy? That was not the first ever movie I did. First ever movie I did was a movie called Selfie Ghost. My sister and our friends, we made a movie called, like I said, Selfie Ghost. And maybe it was a good movie of how young we were and stuff like that. I felt like the characters were pretty deep and stuff like that. I felt like the storyline was pretty strong. Storyline was pretty strong, but like I said about me making this movie or whatever, you have these visions in your head, and you think that this movie is gonna be as epic as you think it is in your head. And then people do it, and then people try to become these characters, and or people do these scenes, and then the scenes don't turn out as you thought they were going to be, you know. Or I think my hardest thing was that I didn't, and this is my own fault, I didn't really write the movie. It was kind of like a freestyle in my head. I put a bunch of action scenes in, I put a bunch of random characters. And you guys want to even hear the funniest part about this? Is you want to know these characters' names? Literally, try to guess the show. There was a character named Chandler. There was a character named Rachel. There was a character named Monica. Phoebe never made it on set. That is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, try to guess the show. By the way, I think everybody knows. But I tried to make this movie happen. I tried to make it, or I thought it was going to be super good and stuff like that, because it's like, dude, it's an action movie, man. Like, let's do it. You know, I loved action movies growing up. Still do. And again, you think it was going to, like, be something that it wasn't. And then you finally get the project, and it's finished, and it's not what you imagine. And then again, it's not just that, though. It's like even the process of making it. You know what I mean? Like, getting in it with people and stuff like that. You want them to be these characters that they don't even know, like, they can't even visual what's going through your mind. Okay, so that's why you gotta connect with people. You gotta relate to people. You gotta be like, ask them like, yo, if you guys are ever making a movie, you gotta be like, yo, like, what do you think this character should have? Like, as I just mentioned on Friends, I mean, I know it's a TV show and we're talking about making a movie, but screw it, I'm saying it. On Friends, you know, it was Matt LeBlanc's choice to make Joey the dumb character. Also, too, like people can improv on movie scenes. You know, like in that one scene in Fast and Furious 6, I think it was, Tyrese Gibson says, yo, someone brought the baby oil, or someone get the baby oil. Whatever he said to Dwayne Johnson freestyled it. He improv'd it and goes, that's something about his big head or whatever. Like, and Ludacris bursted out laughing because it was like improv or whatever. Like, there sometimes can be scenes where when people improv, like, it might have not been in your head, but it's okay. Okay, like, maybe the audience might like that scene. Okay, like maybe that was better than the actual vision that you thought in your head. I think while making a movie too, like I said, I think one of the hardest parts was the directing part too. And acting is no joke, guys. No joke. It's a very hard thing to do and stuff like that. Honestly, any career in Hollywood, as much as people want to hate on writers, they want to hate on directors, they want to hate on actors and producers and all that, like, you just don't realize on how much work that stuff is. You don't understand, like, what happens actually behind the scenes. What else am I gonna say? If you guys want to spice too, you know, just let me know down in the comments. Now I'm just playing. I don't think my old crew even goes on social media like that, so I doubt will ever do that. But I honestly, will I ever put that movie back on YouTube? Honestly, no. I just think it's in the past. It is what it is. I'm just leaving it. I'm leaving it in the vault. Would I ever make another movie? Honestly, I don't think so. I think it's just making a movie franchise, or just being in a movie and stuff like that. Maybe I'll make a short cameo in a movie. I think that would be kind of cool. Like, I would just do like a little short scene, like, but being a star of a movie, or being like one of the main side characters, honestly, like, just give me a short cameo. Let me just be that one little cameo in it with a really good line, or that makes the audience laugh, and bro, I am set. But yeah, like I said, would I go back to acting? No. Would I go back to directing? No. Would I go back to screenwriting? That's an interesting take. Honestly, I got so much ideas running in my mind. I think I could be a writer if I really tried to be a writer. If Spies did work out, say if Spies 1 blew up on YouTube or whatever, and people in the comments were asking for Spies 2, would I make a Spies 3? Would I make it a franchise? I would honestly want to see how far I could go with it. Honestly, I would want to see what I can do with that franchise. So if Spies 2 did happen and it blew up, I think there would have been a Spies 3. Now, when it comes to Selfie Ghost, say if we did put it on YouTube and we dropped it and it got some attention, got some views, what do we make a Selfie Ghost Part 2? Honestly, I think it would have been dope if we did do that. Another thing too, last thing is that we're going to talk about is just how hard it is to come up with these ideas. These people don't understand how hard it is to even make sequels and a trilogy and a franchise. Like, you got to come up with an idea like every single day, guys. You gotta come up with new villains, new characters. Like, you gotta find the right directors and the right producers for this kind of stuff, the right crew, as I said. Now, am I thankful that I did all that stuff as a kid, though, making those movies? Absolutely. You know, that was a very fun part about my childhood, is that we did that stuff. You know, we were just kids being kids. Okay, we got angry at ourselves. You know, we got mad that it didn't go our way of something. But in the end of it, though, at least we still have that memory. You know what I mean? Like, oh shoot, like we did that. You know, some kids are too afraid to admit it that they did that cringy stuff growing up. But guess what? We did it. Who cares? We were kids. And honestly, some people will fall in love with that stuff, with directing and acting, and might even fall in love with screenwriting or producing. You know, being behind more of the scenes than actually being in front of the camera. I honestly thought I would always be wanting to be the star of the movie, but as I just said it earlier, I wouldn't mind just being a small cameo. You ever heard that one question of, would you rather have a small role in a very big movie, or would you rather have a big role in a bad movie? I'll pick that small role in a big movie. Because think about it, I mean, that movie did good and you had a part in it. You still worked on it, you know? That's still kind of cool. You're still part of the credit. So, yeah. But as I just said, do I regret making those movies? Absolutely not. I had a lot of fun with friends making those. Do I wish I could change some of the things in the past? I mean, who doesn't, you know? But everything works out like it's supposed to, so. But this is Real Talk with K.M.B. Don't forget to thank God for the blessings, and everything. And I'll let you guys go. Peace. We're out.